He's come a very long way from those matches that we had in FCW to obviously now, who's the top guy in WWE.
So it's interesting that we also found, I mean, our journalist found that you worked with Husky Harris in the early days, right? Like long before he was Bray Wyatt. Did you kind of foresee that this was a creative guy who would, redefine this kind of entertainment?
I think when I first met Husky, I didn't know too much of him. I could be wrong, but I think he was in my very first match in FCW, and it was like a 10-man tag match. I think it was, and you would have to look this up. I think it was myself, Biggie, Bray, I think Toalonga from New Japan, Breeze. I think Breeze was in it. I think Alex Kozlov. There's a couple others, but it was like a 10-man. It was a big one. I think Roman was in it. I don't remember, but it was a whole bunch of us. But at the time, I didn't understand I didn't know him, so I didn't know. And then it wasn't until he tried to debut this character called Axel Mulligan, which was like the pre-Bray Wyatt, and it was very Slipknot. He had like a Slipknot mask, and I think his first match was with me in somewhere in Florida. But then when I got to know him and I got to understand his mind, I remember we used to have conversations about like Charles Manson. And then that's when I really got to understand like how his brain was working. And then I remember we had a big discussion with this guy named Robert Oppenheimer. Robert Oppenheimer was the creator of the atom bomb. And then we discussed the very famous clip that is on YouTube of what his interview that he did after they did the test. And then when he said, that when he was basically regretting, doing it, and he's like, I'm the creator I'm the destroyer of worlds, in that interview. It's really creepy. It's really creepy. But I remember we used to have conversations about that. And this is before Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt. He was kind of brainstorming ideas. But that's when you get the sense of like where his brain was going. And I love that. I love that creativity. It's outside of the box, and we take influences from different people outside of wrestling to make it your own and make it fit the mold of wrestling. When I created the Ascension to me came out of watching The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino, because that's how I used to do my promos in FCW. That's how I pitched it to Dusty. I would do these promos, and I would just act like Pacino was in Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves. I remember Alberto used to watch fucking Scarface nonstop in his portable DVD player, or like anything with like Pablo Escobar. You would watch stuff like that just to kind of get into, get ideas and stuff. So yeah, a lot of us will get concepts or ideas of how to do certain things by watching other characters, and then because I'm a very big advocate that very rarely are you ever going to take something and make it exactly the same, because subconsciously you add your little taste to it, your little flavor. And I feel like that's essentially what happened with like myself and Bray with Alberto. When we took these characters, these personas that we had seen, and we kind of made it into our own little thing.
So what was your character then? So we know where Alberto came from, we know where Bray came from. What was your character?
Well, the Ricardo was different. The Ricardo was just kind of given to me when I first did my tryout, and then that's what it was for. It was just to be the ring announcer. The stuff that I was doing in FCW, because I needed to constantly think of something, like I said, was basically recruit people to form a group. Because I remember one day we landed and we had promo class with Dusty, and I went in and I had nothing in my head, that's one of my favorite movies, Devil's Advocate. And I had just watched it either the night before or on the plane. I don't remember. But I went into FCW. We did the promo, and I did a promo that Pacino does. Al Pacino does on Keanu Reeves at the end of the movie. And Dusty loved it. And he told me just to kind of keep going. And every week I would pick one of the members of the Ascension, and I would just kind of do this little promo along the same side of how Pacino would interact with Keanu Reeves in the movie, and I loved it. But the Ricardo thing on TV, that was different. That was just kind of given to me, and then for me, I would, and I've said it before many times, I will watch a lot of Jay and Silent Bob movies because Kevin Smith never talked, so he was just like the background character when Jay was talking. So that's what I would get a lot of ideas from, of how to react and how to act around, for instance, Alberto. Alberto was a talker, I wasn't, so I would just have to be behind him and then just react. So I will watch Kevin Smith. So thanks, Kevin.
And going back to your FCW days, you mentioned Roman. Again, did you think you'd become the biggest star in pro wrestling?
Oh no! And I'll be honest. At the time, I knew he was gonna be something because he looked great. Obviously, and then I mean, it is what it is. He's the family that he comes from, so he has a natural ability. That I think he was gonna be the top dog, and no pun intended, the top guy in WWE. I probably didn't believe. I didn't know. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that I was part of his start when he first started wrestling. I'm very happy that I was a part of that. But yeah, no, he's come a very long way from those matches that we had in FCW to obviously now, who's the top guy in WWE.
Did you get a chance to watch Maximum Male Models and what Eli Drake is doing as Max Dupri?
I have known him. I've known him for many years. We were never close, but I've known him for many years. So to see his evolution when he was in the first time, I think when he first got signed, he was just the first NXT. Then he got let go. He did a bunch of other stuff, and then he came back as LA Knight. So, and then, Max Dupri. I haven't been watching SmackDown a lot because I've been very busy as of late. But I was listening to I think it was Conan's Keeping It 100.
Right,
I think.
Right.
And I think I don't know who it was, but they were like Max Dupri. And it's annoying as hell. But here's the thing, though. That's how you remember things.
Right.
You remember things. So you have to implant it into people's head. This is what it is. This is the gimmick. This is what it is. Who would have thought that the Alberto, to this day, I still get that. They don't remember my name, but they'll remember that freaking thing. Because I'll do these signs sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy. What's your name? What's him? You did the Alberto." He's like, "Yeah, that guy." So I mean, but it was annoying, whatever it is. But same thing with the Max Dupri thing. It's annoying, yes, but you still remember it, and that's what ultimately you want to get across. You want the people to know who you are. The Ryback thing, the Feed Me More. Obviously, the classic iconic Ric Flair. Woo, right? When somebody woos, you know who they're talking about. So that's what you want to build in people's heads, and that's how you build the memory.
Okay, man. And so just to wind down, you are a busy man. You have a lot of dates coming up. Can you tell our viewers about it?
Yeah, I have a lot of dates here in Pennsylvania coming up, and everything that we're going and working for right now is this huge major event that's on August 20th in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, at the Clipper Magazine Stadium. It's something we've been working on for a couple months, and we have a couple months more to 2 more months, a month already. Wow, a month to go. We're gonna have myself, Fandango, Santino Morella, Alberto El Patron, and the WWE Hall of Famer, Rob Van Dam. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. We have a lot of talent from the surrounding area here in Central Pennsylvania. So I'm super excited to bring in like the local talent that'll be mixed in with a lot of wrestlers that they saw on TV, and to fill up a baseball stadium. That's gonna be super fun, and I'm super excited. And we have a whole lot more plans coming up. I'm eventually gonna open up my own school down the line. I'm working on that, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what the future holds.